welcome to Art Den. This is where we meet artists who live in Kirklees and the surrounding area. They tell us about their life as an artist and their sources of inspiration, and we gain an insight into their passion. My name is Judy Hinchliffe, and today we have an exclusive interview with Terry Cordery, a talented artist now based in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. As a child living in London, Terry sketched dinosaurs at the Natural History Museum, copied drawings by Leonardo da Vinci, and had a painting of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves exhibited in the local library at the age of 8. As a teenager, Terry drew cartoons of staff and patients during a stay in hospital and mixed fake blood for a school production of Macbeth. Join us as we delve into Terry's experiences as an artist and discover the stories behind his artistic journey. Hi Terry, thank you for joining us today.
Hi Judy, it's nice to be here. Looking forward to it.
Good, me too, lovely. How would you describe your artistic style and what materials or techniques do you use?
I describe my style as being very impressionistic. So in other words, I'm not looking for photographic realism. And to do that, I use all sorts of materials, anything from oils through to watercolor paint, acrylics, charcoal, even sticking bits of paper on the painting. So that just about covers where I'm coming from, really.
Yeah, fabulous, great, thank you. What subjects do you paint and where do you find your inspiration?
Actually, I cover quite a wide range of subjects. The only things I don't really like doing are things like animals and birds, but I love doing people. Anything with people in is great. And I guess really the thing that I really love is either a direct portrait or figure work, or just a painting, a scene with people in it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I mean, sometimes I'm picking up ideas from what other artists might do. Sometimes it's just by direct observation, just being out and about and looking, people watching basically.
Yeah.
And that kind of sends you in a direction of what you want to paint, and hopefully you can get on and do it.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. Can you tell me about the artists that you admire and the artistic styles that have influenced you?
It's quite a variety, really. I mean, the main ones at the moment, I would say, are the Impressionists, which might seem a bit old hat, but they're the ones really that at one time they were very worried that with the advent of photography, they would be out of business. So they decided then to concentrate on things like light and effects in paintings that you couldn't get with a camera. Yeah. And that's kind of the direction that I'm going in, really. Although, having said that, obviously going way back to, well, it would be the 15th century, I'm still a big fan of Leonardo da Vinci, and maybe wouldn't say he's impressionist. But there are a lot of painters around today that I still take my cues from, people that are alive, and they do paint in a very impressionistic and almost abstract way. So that's the kind of direction I'm going in, not to be exact about everything that I do, but to make it a bit more impressionist and abstract.
Yeah, lovely, great, smashing. Thinking about your finished works of art, can you describe a painting that makes you feel proud or happy? And can you say why it makes you feel that way?
Well, there's some paintings I hate that I do and others that I like, but the one which I brought into the studio today that I liked was typical of the thing that I do like, and that's an urban scene in London with things like taxis, buses, monuments, trees, all sorts of bits and pieces. And I think that makes me happy because I grew up in London.
Right.
And in an urban environment like that, you know, you can let your imagination run riot, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. And that's the kind of thing that makes me happy, I think. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I'll probably concentrate on more in the future.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, lovely, thank you. So, this is about you. How and when do you paint? And how easy is it for you to stop once you've started?
Okay.
I don't mean like about mixing the paint, I just mean, you know, what's
No. Well, most of my painting I do in a small room at home. And I found that when I first started to try and paint, it was very difficult to get that kind of discipline to get on with it. It was very easy after about 5 minutes. You'd think, oh, I'm fed up now. I think I'll have a cup of coffee. But if you keep fighting through that and get on with it, then it becomes easier. And I don't have a set time for painting. I'll have an idea in my head and I'll go into my little art room and start painting. If it's a watercolour, that's the worst thing to do because I can't stop, because the problem with colour drying and forming hard edges is that you just can't stop. Once you've started, you finish to the end. But other paintings, I could have 20 minutes, half an hour with it, and then think, I'll just leave that now, and I'll come back and look at it when I've had a coffee and see if I think I'm happy with it. If I'm not, I'll alter it, or even at the worst, I'll just bin it and start with something else.
Great, smashing. Thank you. Can you share something about your artistic development and how you first started to paint?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, that, because, you know, when I was a kid, I think like a lot of children, things like pencils are readily available, and you could do that on your own. You didn't need anybody else around you, and it's a good way of letting your imagination run riot, because you could draw whatever you wanted, whether it was a dinosaur, somebody from outer space, whatever you wanted. So I think a lot of kids draw, so you can kick off with that. It kind of went into the doldrums a bit when you get into adulthood, because you're into other things. But in between times, although I wasn't always seriously painting, I was always doodling or doing little cartoons, or, you know, all you needed was a piece of paper or even a newspaper or anything in front of you and a pen. And without thinking about it, you'd start sort of sketching. So that's how I kind of kicked off.
Yeah.
And then later in life, got round to the idea of being a bit more exciting and actually getting some paint out or some other medium and doing what you would call proper painting.
Right. When was that then? When did you start doing
Do you know, that wasn't until a long time after the sort of childhood stuff. And I decided that about 7 or 8 years ago, oh yes, I think I'll do some painting. And I think at the time I thought to myself, it's dead easy to just sit and consume, as I call it, whether you're watching telly or you're eating food. But I needed to sort of do something creative. So that's when I thought, yeah, get on with some painting then. I think at the same time I also sort of took up playing electric guitar. That didn't go so well, but I still play that now and again. But it's the painting really that's taken over.
Right, great, smashing. So you're a member of Huddersfield Art Society. How has being a member of the Art Society influenced your development as an artist? And what have you enjoyed most about that?
The Art Society was a good decision to join that, really, because I think sometimes when you're painting, you're very isolated and you really don't know what's going on in the rest of the art world. So joining an Art Society was a good way of achieving that, because I'm not sure how many members they've got, but it's well over 100 and everybody paints differently. Yeah. So if you're going to some sort of a workshop or there's an exhibition, then there's an opportunity to socialise and actually find out what everybody else is up to, and sometimes pinch a few of their ideas, their techniques.
Yeah.
Mind you, they would do that with me anyway. They
Oh,
would people who looked at my stuff and said, "Oh, you know, I like the way you paint very loosely. You know, I wish I could do that." And we have a bit of a chat about it. But it's been quite a sort of a positive thing to join the Art Society and mix with all the other members there.
Fabulous. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, thank you. Can you describe some of your experiences a bit more about learning from other artists? For example, when participating in workshops or watching demonstrations?
Yeah, workshops are very useful. You can be picky about it and just go to the workshops where you think you're going to get something out of it. I mean, if it was a workshop on painting vases of daffodils, I probably wouldn't be very tempted. But if it's something that I'm interested in, then it's a good idea to go. And usually they're done by professional artists. So you're getting the best information and advice and techniques and so on. You can also, which I've done, buy DVDs by specific artists and actually watch some of their work.
Oh,
I actually bought one from a charity shop the other day. It was by Ashley Jackson.
Oh, really?
And, you know, just had a sort of quick flick through that. But
Yeah.
there are other artists that I've got their DVDs, usually Australian for some reason,
Oh, really?
and mostly watercolorists. But they're at the top of their game, and you won't find any better advice than by looking at DVDs that they've produced. Well, the other thing is that if you go to galleries, they are an endless source of inspiration, really, because you can see, depends which gallery you go to, but there are endless varieties of painting styles. And you can always tell an artist when he's in a gallery because he spends longer looking at a painting. He'll be analysing the way it's been composed, the way that somebody's applied the paint with their brush. And, you know, I could spend a good 10 minutes in front of a picture that I like and learning from it. So those are all the things that really have been a great help to me.
Yeah, it's much good. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Can you share something about a work that you've got in progress at the moment or any that you're planning? And have you got a specific focus for your work at the moment?
Well, that's interesting because a lot of the paintings I do, usually I'd say 3 hours and I've finished a painting.
Oh, yeah.
So I can get through a lot of painting during the week, as long as I'm not in Sainsbury's shopping or something. I think my focus at the moment is to really concentrate more on paintings that involve urban scenes, whether that's Huddersfield or some other town maybe. And the one type of urban painting I really want to get on with now, I've taken my inspiration from a French painter who's now dead. I think he died in, I don't know, it was the 1920s or something. Somebody called Edouard Cortez. He was, I think, French-Spanish. But he painted scenes of Paris, always at the end of the day when the light was bad, usually when it had been raining. And the thing about his paintings was the amazing way that he got the effects of lights in shops, which then lit up the streets and so on. And so I'd like to sort of be doing some of that myself. I mean, there's no reason why that couldn't be Huddersfield when the light's getting bad and the light's shining out of restaurant windows and that kind of thing. So that's going to be something that, you know, probably in the next week or two, I'll be attempting to do.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Cool. And so, in terms of your personal identity and your sense of who you are, how important to you is being an artist?
Well, it's important. I did mention just now that I didn't like the idea of just being a consumer. I wanted to be a creator as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, we've all got a limited amount of life, and I really want to sort of make sure that I've done something that I'm sort of proud of or happy with. So, you know, art's very important. And, you know, it's that creative thing that I just need to get on and actually carry on painting. Now that I've actually started, I mean, I said before, starting was not easy actually, because you do need a lot of self-discipline. You need to be sort of mentally saying to yourself, come on, pack up watching the telly, get into that art room and produce something.
Yeah.
So, but I think it is important to actually almost give some meaning to your life in a way. It sounds a bit deep, but I think you really need to do that. I think the other thing is that it's a bit of a. I remember talking to an artist, and he was painting, and he said, you know, what do you do if you don't paint? And then he said, why spend money on a psychiatrist? Take up painting. You know, that'll make you happier. So. You know, there's a lot to it, really. You know, and I think if you talk to a lot of artists, they say they do get a lot out of it. You know.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking like of the final question was for summing up your reason for painting. So I think if we try and, because you've pretty much answered that question, which is great. I wonder how we would sum it up into. Maybe we'll take the angle on the actual process and actually doing it, and that sort of feeling that you get from that. Would you enjoy this as well? Is this something that
you know, they say that when you start painting, you've got this idea of whatever it is you're going to paint, and then you know, if it's going well, you sort of think, oh, this is okay, no mistakes so far, you know, happy with this. And then when you sort of get really deep into the painting, I mean, maybe that's halfway through or something, but when you get deep into it, you forget all about time. You know, an hour or two could go by and you've lost that 2 hours. And painters call it being in the zone, because they're completely in another place, you know. They've just completely cut off from the rest of the world, you know. I mean, bombs could drop, people would be banging on your door, but you're not bothered. You think, well, you know, painting, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
nicely put, love it. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, brilliant. So that was really enjoyed that. Pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for talking to me. It's a pleasure being here. New experience for me, so
great.
Thanks very much.
Very welcome. And to you, the audience, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to Kirklees Local TV on YouTube to get our latest videos first. And we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.